Listen, if you think your ex was toxic, wait until you hear about this piece of jewelry, because we're about to deep dive into the Fellowship of the Ring, and honestly, the whole thing is just a massive PSA about why you should never, ever pick up cool stuff you find on the ground. It all starts with this guy Sauron, right? Absolute control freak, the kind of manager who emails you at 3 a.m. on a Sunday. He makes these rings of power to bribe the leaders of the world, but then he makes a master ring to control them all. Classic corporate takeover strategy. But he loses the ring because he got too cocky in a fight, and it bounces around history like a bad penny until it lands in the pocket of the most unlikely creature imaginable, a hobbit named Bilbo Baggins. Fast forward 60 years, and Bilbo is celebrating his 111th birthday in the Shire. Now, the Shire is basically the ultimate comfort zone. It's full of people who hate adventure, eat 6 meals a day, and gossip about their neighbors' gardening skills. It's paradise, honestly. But Bilbo, the absolute madman, decides to pull an Irish goodbye in front of the entire town using the magic ring to turn invisible. Enter Gandalf the Grey. He's a wizard, but let's be real, he's basically a homeless fireworks merchant with connections in high places. He suspects Bilbo's ring is the ring, the nuclear weapon of the Third Age. He bullies Bilbo into leaving the ring behind for his nephew, Frodo. So poor Frodo, who just wanted to chill and maybe write a book, inherits the most dangerous object in the universe. Gandalf leaves to do some research, which apparently involves reading dusty scrolls for 17 years, and comes back looking terrified. He throws the ring in the fire, and sure enough, the evil text shows up. The vibe check has officially failed. Sauron is back, he's looking for his jewelry, and he sent 9 terrifying ghost wraiths called Nazgûl to come collect it. Frodo has to leave immediately, but he can't go alone because his gardener, Samwise Gamgee, was eavesdropping under the window. I love that Gandalf's solution to a national security breach is to force the gardener to walk into hell with him. Oh, you heard us? Cool, walk into hell with him. But honestly, thank God, because Sam carries this entire franchise on his back. He is the only one with common sense. They pick up 2 more hobbits, Merry and Pippin, who are essentially agents of chaos. These guys are stealing vegetables and causing problems, completely unaware that literal demons are hunting them. They have a close call with a ring wraith on the road, which is nightmare fuel. The wraith sniffs for them like a bloodhound, and the hobbits are hiding under a tree root having a panic attack. This is the moment you realize this isn't a fairy tale, it's a horror movie with short protagonists. They barely escape and make it to the town of Bree to meet Gandalf, but Gandalf, being the reliable flake that he is, isn't there. Instead, they meet Strider. This guy is sitting in the corner of the pub, hood up, smoking a pipe, looking like he hasn't washed his hair since the Second Age. He's basically the edgy rogue character everyone makes in Dungeons & Dragons. Strider saves them from getting stabbed in the sleep by the ring wraiths who attack the empty beds. It turns out Strider is actually Aragorn, the heir to the throne of Gondor, but he's dealing with some serious imposter syndrome and prefers living in the woods. I respect the hustle, honestly. They head towards Rivendell, but the hobbits, being geniuses, decide to light a fire on Weathertop, a giant signal fire, while being hunted by ghosts who love the dark. Predictably, the Nazgûl show up and crash the party. Frodo tries to put on the ring, which is a terrible idea. He gets stabbed by a Morgul blade, which is like a poisoned dagger but spiritual and way worse. Aragorn fights off the ghosts with a torch, literally just waving fire in their faces, and now they have to race to Rivendell before Frodo turns into a wraith himself. Enter Arwen Elf, an elf princess who rides a horse better than anyone in history. She scoops up Frodo and outruns the Nazgûl in a high-speed chase that puts Fast and Furious to shame. She summons a river of water horses to wash the ghosts away. It's epic. Frodo is saved. Frodo wakes up in Rivendell, reunited with Gandalf, who explains he was delayed because another wizard, Saruman, went full evil. Saruman is the CEO of wizards, but he decided to partner with Sauron. He beat up Gandalf and locked him on a roof. Very undignified. Now we have the Council of Elrond. This is basically a UN meeting, but with more racism between dwarves and elves. Everyone is arguing about what to do with the ring. Boromir, a guy from Gondor, says, "Hey, maybe we use the weapon of the enemy?" Everyone looks at him like he's crazy. Then Gimli, the dwarf, tries to smash it with an axe, and the axe shatters. Legolas, the elf, stands up and drops the knowledge. The ring can only be destroyed in the fires of Mount Doom, exactly where it was made, which is deep in enemy territory. Great plan, guys. Boromir drops the most memeable line in history, one does not simply walk into Mordor. And he's right, actually. It's a terrible idea. But the arguments get heated until Frodo, the smallest guy in the room, stands up and says, "I will take it." The room goes silent. The shame is palpable. So the Fellowship is formed. You've got 4 hobbits, a wizard, an elf, a dwarf, and 2 men. It's a balanced party, statistically speaking. They set off on a long hiking trip that immediately goes wrong because Saruman is watching them via satellite, or magic birds, whatever. Saruman tries to kill them with a snowstorm on the mountain Caradhras. Legolas is walking on top of the snow like a majestic gazelle, while the rest of them are buried to their necks. It's humiliating. They have to turn back and go through the Mines of Moria. Gimli is hyped for this.
He thinks they're going to find a thriving dwarf colony with beer and gold. Instead, they find a tomb. Everyone is dead, it's dark, it smells, and it's full of skeletons. This is the moment where the fun adventure vibe completely dies. It's a graveyard. And then Pippin. Oh, Pippin. He touches a skeleton which knocks a bucket down a well, which wakes up the entire underworld. "Fool of a took!" Gandalf yells, and honestly, we were all thinking it. The drums start beating in the deep. They are surrounded by goblins and a cave troll. They have a massive brawl. They survive the troll mostly thanks to Frodo wearing a hidden armor shirt made of mithril that's worth more than the entire Shire, but then something worse shows up. The Balrog, a demon of shadow and flame. This thing is ancient and terrifying. They run to the bridge of Khazad-dûm. Gandalf realizes he's the only one with the DPS to handle this boss. He stands on the bridge, staff in hand, and drops the legendary line, "You shall not pass." He smashes the bridge. The Balrog falls, but plot twist, its whip catches Gandalf's ankle. He hangs on the edge, looks at the group, says, "Fly, you fools," and lets go. He falls into the abyss. The group is devastated. They just lost their leader, their tank, and their wizard. They stumble out of the mines crying. It's a total emotional breakdown. Aragorn has to force them to keep moving. They arrive at Lothlorien, the woods of the elves. Galadriel is the queen there, and she is terrifyingly beautiful. She lets them crash for a bit, take a shower, and process their trauma. She also tests Frodo. He offers her the ring, and she goes Dark Queen mode for a second. She resists the temptation, which is a huge deal, proving she's stronger than she looks. Before they leave, she gives everyone gifts. Legolas gets a bow, Sam gets rope and dirt, Frodo gets a light bulb, a file that glows when things get dark. Useful stuff. They get in boats and row down the river, but the group is fracturing. The ring is mentally torturing everyone, especially Boromir. He's desperate to save his city, and the ring is whispering that he can be a hero if he just takes it. You can see the madness in his eyes. They stop at Amon Hen. Frodo wanders off to think. Boromir follows him and tries to take the ring by force. It's an ugly scene. Frodo puts on the ring, disappears, and realizes he's not safe with his friends anymore. The ring will corrupt them all eventually. Suddenly, they are ambushed by the Uruk-hai, Saruman's super soldier orcs. These guys are built like tanks and don't feel pain. Boromir snaps out of his madness and realizes what he's done. He tries to redeem himself by protecting Merry and Pippin. He fights like a beast, taking down dozens of orcs, but he gets shot with arrows. Once, twice, 3 times. He keeps fighting until he literally can't stand. It's heartbreaking. The orcs kidnap Merry and Pippin and leave Boromir dying. Aragorn finds him. In his last moments, Boromir apologizes to Aragorn and acknowledges him as his king. "I would have followed you, my brother, my captain, my king." If you don't cry at this scene, check your pulse. You might be a robot. Sean Bean dies again, but this time it means something. Meanwhile, Frodo stands by the river. He knows he has to go to Mordor alone. He pushes the boat out, but Sam appears. Sam wades into the water, even though he can't swim. He's drowning, literally risking his life just to not be left behind. Frodo pulls him into the boat. "I made a promise, Mr. Frodo, a promise. Don't you leave him, Samwise Gamgee, and I don't mean to." This is the peak of friendship. Forget Romeo and Juliet. Frodo and Sam are the real love story here. Platonic, loyal, ride-or-die love. So, the Fellowship is broken. Frodo and Sam are walking towards the dark mountains of Mordor. Merry and Pippin are captives of the Uruk-hai. Boromir is dead, and Aragorn, Legolas, and Gimli decide not to follow the ring, but to chase the orcs and save the hobbits. "Let's hunt some orc," Aragorn says. They run off into the woods, leaving the boats behind. The music swells, the landscape shots are gorgeous, and you realize this is just the beginning. The world is on the brink of destruction, the team is scattered, and the odds are impossible. It's the perfect ending because it's not really an ending. It's a promise that things are about to get way more intense. It's a story about how even the smallest person can change the course of the future if they just keep putting one hairy foot in front of the other. So, if you're feeling overwhelmed by life, just remember, Frodo walked across a continent to throw jewelry in a volcano while being hunted by zombies. You can probably handle that email you've been avoiding. If you dug this chaotic recap and want to see me lose my mind over the Two Towers, smash that subscribe button. We still have 2 movies, giant spiders, and a lot of walking left to do. Stay tuned, fam.